So Bjorn, can you explain me what is an Oenotheque?
So it's a new thing on the market. Oenotheque actually means a special part of the wine cellar. So it's a wine library. It can also mean literally an enoteca, as in Italy, so a wine bar or a wine cellar. But what we see now, because of the fame of champagne, there's a lot of consumers all over the world. So what Dom Pérignon did, for instance, first they release a certain vintage, but they keep, let's say, 15-20% in the cellars on its lease for a longer time and release it 10 years later. So that's the second version, and you can do a third version of the same wine.
I heard also like Vinotheque. There is a difference between Vinotheque and Oenotheque?
It is a difference, yes. That is also a second release of the wine, much later. They take the first release, they keep a little bit, like 10-15% in the cellars, and release it much later. But it's the original wine, not kept on its lease. So two different versions of an older vintage. So it's very interesting new concept that we start to see in the market.
So Bjorn, what is the benefits of buying a Vinotheque versus an Oenotheque?
Number one is, we talked about the Oenotheque concept, so keeping the wine on its lease for a longer time, which makes the wine more developed. But since the lees are in contact for so long time, it gives that more toastiness, but it also actually keeps the wine younger. So you have a wine that are very developed, but also have an extraordinary balance with the youthful aromas. That's the concept, which is really interesting. So Dom Pérignon works with the first release is the Oenotheque, then they do P2 and P3. So actually what it means is that you can buy in the future, let's say 2008 vintage Dom Pérignon when it's released on the market, which it was just this year. And then about 10 years down the line, you buy the P2. So the same wine with 10 more aging on its lease. And another 20 years, you have the P3. So you will have the same wine in different stages of life. And the beauty of buying it in those versions is that the provenance is great, because if you 40 years down the line are buying a Dom Pérignon, you don't know where the bottle has been. Now it comes from the same cellars, it's been kept, it hasn't moved a single meter before it leaving the cellars of Epernay. So that's the beauty, you have those mature aromas, but the youthfulness at the same time. That's why that style is so brilliant. And we will see more and more producers that will release those kind of wines on the market in the future.